Good morning. Song. There's some concerning sounds in here. But
How do you even speak with this song?
you just jive. You just wiggle.
Oh, yeah. Wiggling those words. This is productivity and procrastination. This is season 2. What episode is this, Joe?
52.
52. And that's our theme song today. Well, I feel strangely upbeat now after listening.
Good. That's 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 a treat.
This is the show where you somewhat decide to do things with your lives.
This is where you go from a procrastinator to a productinator. That's right. You've heard that right. I've trademarked that word, productinator.
You can have it.
That's what everybody said. I went to the patent office, and they're like, yeah, we don't care. That's an ugly word. You can have it. I was like, thanks.
So, Joe, it's been a few weeks.
It's been 2 weeks. James, I didn't know if you were going to be here this morning. Well,
I didn't know until last night that I was going to be here this morning.
oh, wow. You waited until last night to make that choice?
That's how busy my life is right now. I had to make time. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's been a train of thought the whole time, but
Do you want to walk
I
us
needed
through
to come
that
up
train
with
of
the
thought?
solution. I just want to go to the end, which is like, I think personally, I need to request to do it like every 2 weeks, because here's my thoughts. I just have so many things that I'm doing now and have committed to that I feel like once a week doing this podcast creates the stress for me. Whereas if I just had a little bit more time in between episodes, I'd probably have more to share. I'd probably have a much less burden of having to produce because of this deadline. You know, not that has done much for me in the past, but the stress is there. And it was nice when the first week was going through and the realization that I could just exhale a little bit and not have to worry about, I could just have my life go normally and think in between the spaces and kind of work some stuff out and not have to feel like I was being told when I had to work it out.
Yeah.
So I really think for me that would be a good thing to do. What are your thoughts on that?
To me, Uh, it spells out the end. I think once every 2 weeks, like twice a month, ends up spelling out the end for the podcast. Just because it's going to be like, because it's not going to be a weekly thing, I think it's going to slowly, instead of becoming a habit that we do on Mondays, it's going to become something that we have to actively do, like actively choose to do. And it's going to end up becoming something like, it's going to end up becoming more of a chore than a habit. And as such, I think it's going to stop altogether. Which, if that's what you need, that's fine. Because, yeah, I mean, it is stressful, like, coming on here, especially weeks where you don't have anything. But I think the stress outweighs the benefit.
Are you trying to reverse that point? That's what you really meant to say?
Yeah. Sorry. The benefits outweigh the stress. Yeah.
Well, just like we're paid once every 2 weeks by our employer, it's not a problem for me to go once every 2 weeks for a podcast. If you want to quit because you can't handle 2 weeks, that's fine. But I need 2 weeks is why I'm doing it, not because I want it or whatever. I just have too many things I'm doing. I won't have enough progress to talk about in 1 week. I need 2 weeks. It's not so much time that you need to really catch up with each other's lives. Like I was like debating how long and all these things. Like you don't really have to catch up with someone after 2 weeks. But it is a pattern also that if you structure it, it is not a big deal, and it's a normal amount of time to every now and then have a break anyway. So all it is just making a pattern of breaks. I'm cool with it. If you are, if you're not, and you want to, decide that doing it 2 weeks is not worth it, then you can decide to, I guess, this could be the last episode.
Yeah, I think making this our last episode might be better. I'd rather nip it in the bud and let it die quickly rather than like slowly.
Well, one, I don't think just because you at one point change your weekly scenario does it not mean that it can't reverse, and that just because this generation can't handle prolonged thoughts doesn't mean we can't handle prolonged every 2 week commitments.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal, Joe. But if that's the way you want to do it, that is completely fine with me. I have renewed my commitment to getting my things done, so I don't necessarily think that I need to do a podcast to do that. I think that what I figured out in those last 2 weeks is And it might be fitting this is the last episode, because I feel like in my mind I've gone from time to talk about it to time to just do it. And so that's kind of what I've been transitioning into. So maybe this is the perfect thing for me because of just that realization. I've been shutting everything off and just transitioning into work mode. So I guess if there's a like an ending thought I want to give everybody, it's for me I have to move into being mostly about something, being very committed to something in order to continue. And I've got to start shutting off things because there's just too many things in this world that are pulling me in all these different directions. And I have to decide fully whether or not I'm going to do something or not, because there are so many things in this life that are fun to do and I enjoy doing. But as the years go by, I don't have the satisfaction of doing some of the longer term things that I've wanted to do. So I'm going to shut off some of the things that I enjoy and make those actual decisions and start working hard on the things that are harder. And so that's where I'm at. What about you, Joe? What's your takeaways from all of this?
My takeaways are: make sure you're doing what you want to do daily. It forces it to become a forethought in your mind. Focus on that. I think the rest will come naturally. Let yourself explore your creativity. Those aha moments, those, oh, I wonder if this would work, or how would this feel? Like, explore those. And those will come as long as you're doing it daily. Don't get stuck on them, but do explore them. Enjoy it. Try to enjoy it the best that you can. Because we're naturally inclined to do things that we enjoy. Don't make it stressful. Don't make it hard on yourself. Just enjoy it. And you'll do it more, which means you're just going to naturally get better. Projects. Figure out a project. Work on the project. But also take time to still do other things too. You're not just the project. Yeah, I think, but if you can focus only on one thing, just do stuff daily. Because that to me, that's where it's at.
All sounds really good. Well, this next year, I have a lot of things to work on. I want to work on my health. Want to get in shape. and I want to help my wife with the business, and I want to work on my first writing project. And those are the things that are most important to me. And so that's what I'm going to be focusing on. And do you still have a longer term goal of going to the cons and
Yeah. Yeah,
doing
this
that?
year it's I want to create a lot of illustrations. Like I want to be ready at the end of the year to like transition into January looking at like where am I going to go for my cons. That's the goal this year. I want to do some more like traditional painting. And yeah.
Nice. Traditional painting for personal or for selling and all that.
Mostly personal until I feel like I'm at a place where I can do it for commercial. But
Okay. Because the last time we really talked about your painting, you didn't really think that was
yeah,
going to
well,
happen.
it's more of a I'm
What's
enjoying it, so I'm gonna
changed?
keep doing it. But it's
Nice.
not like my main focus. My main focus is just getting illustrations out. But it's just something I'm enjoying, and so I want to keep doing it.
Yeah. No, that's great. I mean, I enjoyed seeing you complete your goat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so that's good that you didn't fully make that decision and have changed your mind on it. That's good. Um, well, this has been kind of a 2-year project for us,
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah, I
And
mean, I don't know how you're feeling about it, but I'd be up for meeting back up on December 30th, 2025. See how our year's gone.
be very up for that. Yeah. Um, yeah, I would. Are we gonna keep these episodes up and just
Yeah.
go ahead and yeah? I mean, I'm completely down for that.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, I'm excited to see what the result will be at that. That'd be really cool. Um, no, I'm down.
Sounds good. All right, any closing remarks before we
Well, it's been good, and I also feel like space can be good, and I'm gonna take a lot of the lessons that I've learned about myself and about moving forward and try to solidify myself into a pattern that is great for me. And it's good having so many points where you have to look at yourself. You know, doing this every week, you get a good snapshot of who you are through the ups and the downs. And what it takes to just keep moving forward. And so I'm going to use as much of that as I can. And to come to the realization that I need to fully commit, or I'm probably going to just consume in all of its forms, and it's going to consume my life. So it has to be a conscious, intelligent decision.
Yeah, and I think there's some merit there, like with, because the worst place to be, right? The worst place, in my opinion, to be is in the halfway mark, where you're like, I want to do these things, I want to become the writer, I want to do all these things, but you get in your own way and you never accomplish it, and you're just struggling to try to accomplish these things, which just brings unnecessary frustration. Either choose like, hey, I don't mind not becoming a writer. I don't mind becoming these things. I'm living a good life right now, and I'd like to do that. Or I will become the writer, and here's what I'm willing to sacrifice for it, because you're gonna have to sacrifice. So it's, I just, the in between state is the worst place to be, because
Yeah.
you're sacrificing things that, you know, you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna work on this because, you know, I want this thing, but you never actually do anything with it, and then it ends up becoming this thing that just you're sacrificing for no reason.
Yeah, and so to clarify the pattern that I'm kind of working on so that people know, I am still going to be playing games and things like that with my family, with friends, but on very select days. One day, really, in particular. And the rest of the time, I'm going to be putting it down. And I'm going to be focusing my life on doing those things that I said, getting healthier, going out more, you know, working out, focusing on what I'm eating, being very conscious in my moments, and in doing so, making better decisions on what I spend my time doing. That is what I'm going to be doing. And I think allowing myself my one day to relax and just allow, you know, my family to kind of like pull me wherever they want, is a good balance for me. And then the rest is up to me. It's like, okay, well, the rest of the moments are, what am I gonna become? You know, each thought, you know, capturing each thought and going from there.
Yeah. I think that's the way to do it. So like you have a good plan moving forward.
Well, we'll see what happens next year, huh?
Yep.
Well, then, this isn't really an end. This is just a ginormous pause to a possible, you know, very interesting result. So, hopefully, it'll be a very positive one.
Yeah. Hopefully we can learn some things and talk about them and whatnot. We'll still be in the Discord, so if you do want help with stuff, please reach out. We're still there. But yeah.
And, you know, if somewhere along the year you're You need to have an episode. You just be like, hey, reach out to me. Hey, James, let's do one. I need this or whatever. I'm not on a, I'm not so rigid
Yeah.
as to never. So anyway, who knows? At the very least, we'll see you next year when we give you the update of updates.
Updates of updates. You heard it here first. All right, you productinators. I can use that. You guys have yourselves a good year, and we'll see you soon.
Later.